A man police say they arrested just a few weeks ago with 100 pounds of marijuana is now on the run. And one Central Kentucky prosecutor says it's a sign of a bigger problem.
Personally, was disgusted by the, what the song said.
A song causes of controversy during a concert in a Central Kentucky town. How the mayor is responding.
A Central Kentucky man is asking for your help as he tries to collect supplies for flood victims in West Virginia.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. We've had a couple of days of sunshine and very comfortable temperatures, but don't expect that to last long, at least not through the holiday weekend.
Yeah, it looks like storms will be moving back into the picture. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and your no-wait weather forecast.
Guys, as we get deep into that holiday weekend, storm chances will increase, and we'll get a little increase in the storm action as we go through the day tomorrow, courtesy of a cold front. Defender Radar Network picking up on an increase in clouds. You notice that out there this evening, but also an increase in showers and thunderstorms just to our west. That's right along and just ahead of that front that is heading toward the Chicagoland area right now, and it is rolling toward the southeast, arrives into central and eastern Kentucky second half of our Friday. We are still well out ahead of that, so all we are seeing right now, a little bit of high cloud cover, but the future radar hour by hour over the next 12 hours. Watch what happens with some at least shower and thunderstorm action popping around the middle of tomorrow morning for areas to our west. Some of that will get into town as we go through the day, and then we focus on the 4th of July holiday weekend with rounds of showers and thunderstorms on the way. Coming up at 11:13, we've got a brand new rainfall forecast to show you with the hour by hour that takes you through 4th of July morning, guys. That's at 11:13.
Chris, we'll see you then. Thank you. When police arrested him earlier this month, they say he had about 100 pounds of marijuana with him. But tonight, a drug suspect is on the run after police say he bonded out of jail and didn't show up to court.
State police shared this picture of all the marijuana they say 29-year-old Celio Mendoza had when they arrested him in Madison County. And the county attorney says this case is an example of a growing problem there. Victor Puente has our top story at 11.
On June 8th, Kentucky State Police stopped Celio Mendoza during a traffic safety checkpoint on US 25 near the Madison and Rockcastle County line. They say when the trooper approached his pickup, he could smell marijuana, and this was the reason. They say they found more than 100 pounds of processed marijuana in the truck. They charged Mendoza with trafficking and placed him under arrest. 2 days after Mendoza was arrested by Kentucky State Police, he was bailed out of the Madison County Detention Center by a woman from Berea. Court records show he was released on little more than a signature and a promise. The $5,000 unsecured bond meant if Mendoza didn't show up for court, she would owe that money, but it didn't require anything to be paid in advance. Court clerks say Mendoza didn't show up to his hearing on Monday. There's now a warrant out for his arrest.
The unsecured bonds are a problem in that there's nothing behind the promise to appear. There's no financial, there's no money to support it.
Commonwealth's attorney David Smith says the number of bail jumping cases added to his workload has been steadily increasing. He says in 2011 they had 1. Last year they had 81.
You've got to go back and rearrest them again, get them back in custody. Then they've got an additional charge to process, and given the number of indictments, it does create, more work.
Mendoza's case isn't one of his yet, but it could be if it's moved up to circuit court. Smith says there's no perfect solution to stop people from jumping bail, but he also doesn't understand why an unsecured bond is so often used for felonies.
I think you need to look at it really, each individual case. I don't think there's any blanket solution. As I say, we can't just lock everybody up and hold them pending trial, because a lot of them don't really need to be there, and most of them are going to show back up.
In Madison County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Court clerks say with the new arrest warrant, a $2,500 cash bond will be set for Mendoza when he's found.
The investigation continues tonight into a deadly police-involved shooting in Knox County. Police say a deputy shot 30-year-old Jesse Mills late last night after they say Mills attacked police officers on Highway 223. Police say it started after Mills took his 2-year-old daughter from her grandparents' home. Family members say Mills does not have custody of her. The family called police, who soon found Mills and the child. Police say Mills then began attacking them, so they shot him. The child was not injured. Family members say they had concerns about Mills before.
He's acted like this once before, but it wasn't this bad. I'm not sure what he's doing. I mean, it worries me.
State police are investigating the shooting. The names of the officers involved have not been released. New tonight, state police are investigating the death of a prison inmate in Elliott County. The State Department of Correction says the inmate was found unresponsive today in his cell at the Little Sandy Correctional Complex in Sandy Hook. Investigators say another inmate assaulted him. They say the injured inmate later died at a hospital. Investigators have not released the names of the inmates involved.
A Central Kentucky man facing charges tonight. Investigators say he pretended to be a police officer when he stole from a Walmart in Lincoln County. Stanford police say Travis Hacker carried a BB gun, a toy badge, and even wore a collared shirt and tie. They say he stole electronics from Walmart multiple times. Police say surveillance video shows him loading up a shopping cart and just walking right out the front door. Now, eventually, police say store employees caught him. And police say they caught Hacker red-handed on his 4th trip to the store. He's charged with impersonating a police officer, shoplifting, and being a persistent felony offender. New tonight, a water main break is causing some problems over at the EKU campus in Richmond. EKU leaders say the main broke near the intersection of Lancaster Avenue and Barnes Mill Road. Repairs are underway right now, but for now, EKU leaders say there is no water service, boilers, or air conditioning in the buildings you see here on the screen. Those services will not be restored until the water main is fixed. Leaders at EKU say they're not sure how long that will take. New tonight, 2 more coal mining operations in eastern Kentucky will be shutting down. Alpha Natural Resources has announced it will close its Enterprise Deep Mine in Knott County and the Enterprise plant in Letcher County. The company plans to meet with affected employees in both counties tomorrow, but Alpha would not return calls for comment. So at this point, we do not know exactly how many people will be losing their jobs. Some controversy at a Central Kentucky concert. A guest singer performed a song with anti-gay lyrics.
It happened last week during an outdoor summer concert in Midway. The band that brought up the guest singer has since apologized, and the city's mayor says that sort of music isn't welcome there. Monique Blair has the story new at 11.
Last Friday, during Midway's first Midsummer Nights event, a man in the audience asked the band Shades of Grass if he could sing a song with them. They agreed.
He got up there and sang, and they accompanied him musically, and the song that was played was unambiguously anti-gay.
The song titled Come On Down to the Farm has lyrics like, you won't see 2 roosters walking arm in arm. They couldn't make a chicken. They don't have an egg to hatch. When God said love your brother, I don't think he meant like that. Since Friday, Midway Mayor Grayson Vandegrift says he's received calls from people who weren't happy about the song. Mayor Vandegrift says he agreed.
Yeah, I'm personally, was disgusted by, what the song said. And it's just as I would be disgusted if it was racist, or if it was denigrating to women, or if it was disparaging of other religions.
But not everyone was upset. Mayor Vandegrift says some people cheered the song, but he says it wasn't the right place for the song because it was a family event.
We understand people have the right to say those things, but the organizers have the right to make sure that those kind of things aren't brought into the public sphere.
Mayor Vandegrift tells me the band Shades of Grass voluntarily returned the $500 they were paid for this event, and the band has asked that that money go towards an LGBT cause.
But I cannot stress enough that the band here should not be made to be social pariahs. They realized a mistake had happened. They've responded nobly to this.
In Midway, Monique Blair, WKYT.
In a statement, Shades of Grass said the audience member was not associated with the band and the band was not aware of the content. The mayor says the organizers of the concert series will have all bands sign a contract which will explain what's expected of them.
New tonight, a Central Kentucky man is collecting donations to help flood victims in West Virginia. Derek Christopher has lived in Georgetown for the last 4 years, but says he's originally from West Virginia. He's trying to fill a flatbed truck with building supplies, water, diapers, and non-perishable food items for flood victims. He's planning to deliver the donations Saturday morning.
Just giving back. If you really think about it, everybody once in their life is going to need help from someone.
Now, Christopher will be collecting donations through tomorrow night on Triport Road in Georgetown. He says he does not need clothing donations because flood victims have no place to store them. If you'd like to help out and donate, we'll have information on WKYT.com and on the WKYT Facebook page.
A major announcement today from the Pentagon. The military has lifted a ban on transgender service members. Reaction in 9 minutes.
And then dozens of new jobs heading to southern Kentucky, all thanks to a European company.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
In the final minutes for the month of June, and it's wrapping up on about as good a note as you will ever find around here. Those temperatures yesterday into the upper 70s, today low 80s, low humidity, plenty of sunshine out there as well. If we could just bottle this up and keep it going into early July, I could probably retire in just a matter of a few days. That's not going to be the case, so let's jump into what's going on right now before we close out the month of June. 67 in Lexington, 69 capital city of Frankfort. Hello, Somerset and Danville. Mount Sterling as well, 64 as the cool spots to go along with Harlan into southeastern Kentucky. Defender Radar Network, nothing across the Bluegrass State. Let's go to the west, shall we? Clouds are increasing here. Scattering of thunderstorms around the St. Louis area into parts of Illinois. That is ahead of a cold front that will march its way toward the region as we go into our Friday. And pushing that is another honest-to-goodness shot of some cooler and drier air. That may not set up shop for the entire weekend, but I do think we get in on some of that for the day on Saturday. Between now and then, at any point tomorrow, you're fair game to pick up on a scattered thunderstorm. May catch a little bit of a break into the afternoon, then another shot coming our way into the late afternoon and early evening. 4th of July, holiday weekend forecast, low 80s, and the threat for thunderstorms that will increase as we go into Sunday and Monday. Here's the setup for the weekend. Milder air to the north, hot air to the south, sandwiched in between the Bluegrass State with a weak area of low pressure that's going to work its way across a stalled out boundary. That boundary will likely set up shop from Missouri through the Ohio Valley to the Appalachian Mountains. So the area in yellow may have the highest threat for repeat showers and thunderstorms. And as you can see, that includes most of Kentucky. Let's go hour by hour and let's take it all the way into the 4th of July, at least the start of the day. Noontime tomorrow. Model is trying to hit at a pretty good little cluster of thunderstorms into western Kentucky. May catch a break, then look what happens late afternoon, early evening tomorrow with a little thunderstorm complex that tries to pop into central Kentucky. Anything tomorrow is scattered. You're going to have some dry hours if you're hitting the pool or hitting the lakes tomorrow. We go into tomorrow night and into the day on Saturday. Temperatures come down. We may spend some of the day on Saturday, at least much of it in the upper 70s, topping out upper 70s, low 80s. With a late day shower or a thunderstorm, especially south and west. And look what happens into the day on Sunday. We get these rounds of thunderstorms to set up. Exactly where they set up, we'll fine tune that as we get closer. But look at the crazy temperature gradient at 2 o'clock Sunday. 66 Covington, 91 Somerset. 66 Covington, 91 Somerset. You see that kind of a gradient. Chances are in between that you're going to get some big clusters of thunderstorms, and look what happens through the rest of the day on Sunday and into 7 o'clock Monday, and somewhere across the Ohio Valley likely to pick up several inches of rain. Models are still trying to figure out where that heavy corridor sets up, but that is likely at some point to include much of the Bluegrass State, with the best timing being later Sunday into Monday, and I think again potentially on Tuesday and or Wednesday. Tomorrow, it's scattered. Several dry hours. I still think Saturday is the pick day of the entire weekend as of now.
All right, and Saturday, still pretty
looking good. Yeah, upper 70s, low 80s in a lot of cases.
All right, thanks, Chris.
You bet.
A group of Lexington mothers showed a colorful tribute tonight for the victims of the Orlando attack. That's in 8 minutes. Today, the Pentagon ended one of the last bans on service in the U.S. Armed Forces.
Service members will no longer be discharged just for being transgender. Weijia Jiang has more from the Pentagon.
Defense Secretary Ash Carter lifted the ban on transgender people serving in the military, calling it the right thing to do.
Americans who want to serve and can meet our standards should be afforded the opportunity to compete to do so.
Carter described the policy change as a mix of pragmatism and idealism to ensure the military can get the best talent and treat them equally.
It just makes me ecstatic.
Army Staff Sergeant Shane Ortega is transgender. He has served as both a woman and a man.
Look at my service record. Look what I did. Tell me I'm not worth it.
The Pentagon estimates there are between 4,000 and 11,000 transgender people in the military out of a force of 2 million.
Policy changes will be phased in over the next year. Then transgender individuals will be able to enlist.
Critics like House Armed Services Committee Chairman Mac Thornberry charge the administration is putting politics over policy. He said, "We will also be looking at legislative options to address the readiness issues associated with this new policy. Transgender troops will be eligible for any medically necessary care, including surgery." Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the Pentagon.
The Pentagon's decision comes after a study during which the Defense Secretary personally met with transgender service members. New tonight, the Centers for Disease Control is saying that water was not being filtered properly at the U.S. National Whitewater Center, where a rafter was infected by a deadly amoeba. The CDC says the center did not have adequate chlorine and filtration systems. An Ohio teenager was infected by the amoeba earlier this month and later died. The center, which is in North Carolina, has suspended whitewater rafting and plans to drain all water from its whitewater system.
A French company is making plans to create dozens of new jobs in southern Kentucky. State leaders say Eurosticks has been looking for a presence in North America, and they found it in Corbin. The company makes ice cream sticks. State leaders say the company's new factory in Corbin will create about 90 new jobs.
Part of the reason, again, was the fact that we had this building available and our supply of beechwood, but they really fell in love with our community.
The company hopes to be moved in and ready to start making ice cream sticks by January 1st. It will be called North American Sticks in Corbin.
New tonight, a group of Lexington moms came up with a special tribute for the victims of the deadly attack at a gay nightclub in Orlando. Members of the Lexington chapter of Moms Run This Town dressed in all the colors of the rainbow tonight, and then they ran or walked the 2-mile loop of the UK Arboretum. Members say it's the least they could do to show support for the victims' families.
And we want them to know that, that we're here for them, that the whole country is affected when something like this happens.
The Moms Run This Town group organizes running and walking events throughout the Lexington area, and they had a pretty night to do that, too.
And I say good for them for what they're doing. Well, up next, the UK women's team picks up a transfer.
Matthew Mitchell needing to build his roster. We'll tell you about Agechi Anyagaligbo and Rajan Rondo back in his hometown conducting his summer camps. He talks about his future. Sports is next. Stay with us. What does the future hold for former UK guard Rajan Rondo? Well, that is up in the air as he looks ahead to his 11th season in the NBA. Rondo back in his hometown of Louisville hosting his annual camp, which has been a big success year after year. Rondo spent last season with Sacramento, played in 72 games. He averaged about 12 points and almost 12 assists in about 35 minutes per game. The best season he's had in a long time.
Last season was, I think, for me, one of my best I've had in a while. I was able to go out in Sacramento, stay disciplined, stay focused, and focus on what's matter, which is basketball. So I was able to go out there and play with a great player, DeMarcus Cousins. And we didn't have the best season, but I was able to stay healthy and get back to where I need to be. What's next for me, we'll find out in about 4 or 5 days. So I haven't thought much about it, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity of, maybe going back to the same franchise or going in a different one. So you never know what the future holds, and I'm very excited and just going to pray about it and let whatever happens happen.
The Toronto Raptors are reportedly interested in acquiring Nerlens Noel from Philadelphia. The Raptors are said to be looking at Noel as a backup center. They could lose backup center Bismack Biyombo to free agency. Sixers overstocked at center and have been shopping Noel and Jahlil Okafor. Nerlens will make $4.3 million next season and will become a free agent after the season unless Philly negotiates an extension by the end of October. Quade Green is a 5-star point guard out of Philadelphia, According to Ben Roberts of the Herald-Leader, he now has a scholarship offer from John Calipari. With impressive play on the AAU circuit, Green has watched his stock go up. He averaged about 14 points, 10.5 rebounds, and almost 3 steals per game. He led the Nike League in assists and steals. Kentucky is expected to lose every player in the backcourt after next season, and John Calipari has also offered 2 other point guards, Trae Young and Tremont Waters. UK women's basketball has added a transfer, Ogechi Anyagaligbo. She played at Stony Brook last season and was the America East Conference Rookie of the Year. Anyagaligbo averaged 10 points, 9 boards at Stony Brook. She said she wanted to play at a higher level. Matthew Mitchell calls her a very physical player that is talented at both ends. He described her as a perfect fit for his system. Anyagaligbo is out of Miami, Florida. She won 2 state titles at Miami Country Day and was named Dick's Sporting Goods Nationals MVP. She will have to sit out next season and then become eligible the following year. New UK baseball coach Nick Minjone continues to piece together his coaching staff, today hiring Todd Williams. He was the hitting coach at Western Carolina last season. Minjone also has had 3 commits in the last 24 hours. That includes 6'4" sophomore pitcher Braxton Cottengame out of Perry Central. Cottengame was 7-4 last season for the Commodores, striking out 70 in 49 innings. Former Moorhead bowler Kelly Kulick will headline the return of pro bowling to the city of Lexington. 80 women will compete beginning tomorrow at Eastland Lanes. Kulick made a name for herself when she won on the men's PBA tour. Kulick said it would be fitting if she could win here in Lexington.
Oh, harboring so many great memories. I mean, this would just add to it. And I have a lot of friends coming to support me tomorrow, so in my eyes, it would just be great to see it through their eyes.
So again, that is at Eastland Lanes. It is called the Lexington Open. Stay with us now as we wrap it up.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is less than 1 minute away here on WKYT, and tonight's guests include Ellie Kemper.
It is almost Friday.
Woohoo!
Getaway day for a lot of folks.
It is for a lot of folks out there. You may have that 4-day weekend. Congratulations. I see a lot of folks out there. A lot of folks in here. It's a regular 2-day weekend. Tomorrow, though, isolated shower, thunderstorm, low 80s. Saturday appears to be the best day. Guys, still watching Sunday and Monday. That's 4th of July for the possibility of rounds of storms and heavy rain.
You sounded so happy, I thought you were going to start singing, Amber.
Oh, well, no, I was just happy for everybody else that it's almost there Friday.
Not sure we want to hear that either.
No.
Night.